Hello, lads and ladies, and welcome back for another live stream on channel. Won't be Cards Vlogs out a little bit of a muck up, would it? Hope we're all well. Wednesday, the 28th of January. Some big games in League One. Yesterday, we had table-topping clashes. We had playoff battles. We had relegation six-pointers. We had goals galore. We had an away win. We had a load of home wins. It's going to be a bumper show. Let me know if you can see and hear me now. If you could like, subscribe, all that jazz. Hi, mate.
Hey.
I'm just going to ask. I'm just going to say it right. I've been thinking this. I feel like I, in life, give what I get, right? Try and think positively. Try and make other people feel good, right? What have I done in a former life to watch what I watch every week and struggle with it? And you get, and I have to put up with you. And run this podcast with you, where Lincoln City are now 11 games unbeaten. I beat another top side at home. I've got the second best home form in the division, or second in the league. You're 6 points clear of third. And everyone's
with a game in hand as well.
And everyone's buzzing. You love the manager. Everyone's buzzing. What have I done in a former life to be on this side?
I don't know, mate. I don't know what you did, but I'm glad that you did it, whatever it was. But yeah, no, I'm good, mate.
I knew what I did in 2023 would always come back to haunt me.
Yeah, well, absolutely. But yeah, no, I'm good, mate. I'm okay. I'm obviously in high spirits, as you can well imagine, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for you as well because you won away at Harrogate yesterday, and obviously I know we've already done a show since Pete's gone, but I'm well pleased that you won away at Harrogate last night, and I'm well pleased that Matty Virtue of all people scored the winner because you know how much we love Matty Virtue. But yeah, no, I'm good, mate. Look, I was about to say it's just what we do, isn't it? But because it is, but. Yeah, no, it's good. I'm very happy. I'm in a very good place right now. Yeah, I'm looking forward to chatting about League One with you because it was quite I don't know. I feel like there was definitely a lot of key talking points this week. There were lots of big statement games, weren't there?
Yeah, it was. Obviously, I was at Harrogate last night, doing commentary and summarising for BBC Radio Lancashire, which I love doing.
You do comms, do you?
Yeah, I should mention it, shouldn't I?
Yeah. Hold on, what's over your shoulder, Naffers? I reckon it's
what me with the darts player. But no, it was all right. I'll be totally honest with you. Is what it is at the end of the day. Buzzing for Laws, getting the victory. Yeah. We'll talk about Fleetwood because I don't want to bring the show down.
Also, it's not really relevant because League One Live.
Yeah. Well, no, right. I need to bring you up on this, right? You're factually incorrect here. On Saturday, I'm going to watch a football team in League One, away from home, in red and white. We're back. That's what we do. In League One. You couldn't keep us away for long. We're back. Red and white, away from home. I just might have got the wrong direction and got the wrong team in red and white.
Yeah, but, you're getting on the pier, aren't you?
Yeah, basically, Wigan. I'm coming for the win. So yeah, I'm going to come and watch a bit of what I want to see what Scabala Ball is all about in person. So if Lincoln will lose, now I'm going because you can take the boy out of Fleetwood, but you can't take Fleetwood out the boy. I'm having a week off in Fleetwood. I think I need it, if I'm honest with you. Just need a week away just to refresh my thoughts. Pretty much go to every single game. I just need you just get to the point where you just need a weekend off. I think you've had a couple of them over the last 18 months or so.
You mean when we bottled the playoffs? By the way, just to let you know, I've bought a ticket in the home end.
Have you actually?
To avoid the curse.
No, you haven't. I'm checking your ticket now.
I'm only messing. I haven't really. I've bought you one in the away end, mate. Although, to be fair, I spoke to our mate Barry Worthington, right, earlier today, and he reckons if Lowe is still there on Saturday, all four sides of the ground on Saturday will be an away end because nobody wants him to be in charge. So,
yeah, it often gets like that. Let's come to the chat.
Look at Lincoln fan.
Hello, Palmer.
You did that on purpose because Commons is next. Lincoln fan. Oh, yeah.
Hello, Glenn. Do you know what I liked about Lincoln? They always talk about these signings. Oh, what a signing! You've never seen him properly play football in your life.
That's
honestly, Lincoln are the only football club that could sign like a 19-year-old that's never played football again on loan from
Sheffield
Bromley,
United,
right? And they'll be like, "Oh my god, what a player!"
Hold on,
You've
seen Deji play football. I'm pretty sure you were a fan of him.
It was all right. He was all right until this week, but yeah. Other than that, he was a great player. But again, it's a different level, Jake. So it's not really relevant, is it?
It's not relevant, correct?
We'll start off the show. Cardiff City 4, Barnsley 0. Barnsley's woes go on, Jake. Defensively, they are quite frankly horrific. 40 goals conceded now in 24 games. Now, over the years, we've always mentioned Barnsley's lack of ability to keep a clean sheet. They've only kept 2 clean sheets this year. Now, you're looking at Rotherham and Leyton, Orient, who've got bad defences and often concede goals. They've kept 5 clean sheets. They're the next lowest. To keep 2 clean sheets in a possible 24 games is absolutely honking. And this hasn't just been a problem this year. This has been an issue over the recent years with Barnsley. Now, they've been fortunate that they've had goals in the side over the years, that they've always had goal scorers, over the last 10 years, really, have regularly scored goals for them at different levels. But you just feel with them, they can't keep winning 2-1 or winning 3-2 or draw 3-3. You feel like at Oatwell is your banker to be both teams to score at this moment in time. Because Barnsley have scored 37, there is that argument as well. We will come to Cardiff in a minute. But since Barnsley had that really good 5-0 victory, they've only won 2 out of the next 10. And they beat Leyton Orient, who's below them in the table, and Blackpool in the last minute, who were both below them in the table. I feel with Barnsley at times, they struggle to impose themselves and they struggle to be the dominant force and a regular string. And they're just like the weather, aren't they? It's so inconsistent, but more rain than sun at this moment in time. And the 12 points off the playoffs, yes, they got 5 games in hand, but that Barnsley team are weak on numbers, low on numbers. They don't do the basics very well. And you almost felt like Barnsley, like 4 or 5 years ago, did the basics really well. You thought like they'd win a lot of home games. They'd go away and win 1-0, win 2-1. They wouldn't be vintage, but they'd do the job. Why is it in this last 2 years, different managers haven't really been able to get a tune out of Barnsley defensively, do you think?
I think that's the $1 million question in that part of South Yorkshire. I think it partly comes down to recruitment in terms of who they have brought into play in those defensive roles. I don't think they've had enough big, nasty, horrible centre halves that at this level are going to be able to do you well. I mean, they've signed Owen O'Connell, who's one now, but Jack Shepherd was decent in League Two, but is he a proven League One centre back? Tanai Watson, they played him at centre back as well. Is he proven League One centre half? I don't think he is. I think he's a wing back rather than a centre back. So, yeah, I think maybe that's the problem. I think the style of play is conducive to the way that they want that is going to get them any results. I think they are too focused on the process in terms of playing it out from the back, and they give the ball away so sloppily. I mean, they've got no ball playing centre halves. I look at the back three that played last night, no ball playing centre backs. They give the ball away timeless amounts. And I think if you look at some of the goals, they actually come because Cardiff have been able to nab the ball off Barnsley pretty high up the pitch and they're able to score. So, yeah, I don't know what it is with Barnsley. I mean, you say they're 12 points off the playoffs, 5 games in hand. They've got to win all of those to get in the playoffs. And this is a Barnsley team.
Win 4 of them.
Win 4.
That's not factually correct, Jacob.
Well, if they want to get in them, they have to win 4 and draw 1, right? Can you see this Barnsley team that have won 2 in 10? Are they all of a sudden going to go win 4 in a row and draw 1? So
it's actually not a Saturday Tuesday, because the thing is with them as well, when you play Saturday for the first 3 months of the season, which by the way I think is absolutely ludicrous. I think the fixture scheduling in this country in the EFL is an absolute embarrassment. And what I mean by that is from from August to the start of December, you play about 16 league games in 4 months. And then you're expected in your last 5 months of your season for an extra 4 weeks to play an extra 14 games. Like the Christmas schedule's too busy as it is. And people will moan at me and people moan at managers. But I look at it from a standpoint of view is it is too much and there should be more choosing out football early in the year. And Barnsley obviously have had issues, obviously postponements as well. That doesn't help. But they are a long way to go and they've got a lot of football to be played. But Saturday, Tuesday for the next 5 weeks is, and bear in mind, this wasn't a game in hand either. This was a game that just kept them level with everyone. I think Barnsley at max will probably go and get 7 points because that's what Barnsley do, isn't it? Really?
Sorry, that was a question? Yeah, but yeah, they're very inconsistent. They are very inconsistent, man. And the thing is, like, we're now what, less than a week away from the deadline, and there are heavy rumours about the future of Reyes Cleary. There are heavy rumours about the future of Davis Keeler-Dunn. I genuinely think that if those two both leave this month, Barnsley could be that team that come out of nowhere and finish in the bottom 4. Because look at that, the lack of quality in that squad. They're certainly going to be fighting to stay up, even the games in hand. And like you say, they're going to be so knackered by the time each game comes around. Exactly. So I think if they lose them two, I think you've got next to no hope. So yeah, I don't know what it is with Barnsley. They're just so inconsistent. And I thought, this year they were going to finally kick on. They've kept the good players. They've brought in some youth, but they just, I don't know what it is. It's a mental stigma, I think, because I think the issue comes as well from the expectations of the fans a little bit, because they think that they're this, and I know I'm basing this right off Carl, and it's maybe a little bit unfair because his persona on camera is probably a little bit different to what he is off camera.
Yeah, he hypes.
Of course, and we all do, right?
It's a bit like you at the start of the year, right? If you said to me at the start of the year, Lincoln getting the top 2, no offense, I would have laughed at you, and you wouldn't have believed it. I don't think even a month ago you'd have believed it. I don't think even now you believe in it.
I don't believe it now, yeah.
I like the way that I'm not the Lincoln man, but Siobhan Lincoln in.
But yeah, I think a lot of expectation because they're a fairly big club and they've been in the Premier League and there's a lot of expectation and sometimes it just weighs heavy on the players and they've got a lot of young kids in there, Bland through the academy, Kelly's not very old, Cleary not very old, Goodman not very old, Shepherd not very old. So it's a young group and I feel like where they've been let down is they've not really added a huge amount of experience. They've tried to rectify that obviously this window, and in the summer they brought in McGoldrick and O'Connell, but real lack of leadership at Barnsley. That's what concerns me. But take nothing away from Cardiff. I thought they were brilliant last night. That was Cardiff at their best, wasn't it? Suffocating, imaginative on either flank, and Willock really stepping up. The thing with Cardiff is if it's not going to be Salek, who obviously missed the game, or if it's not going to be Ruben Colwell or Ollie Tanner, it can be Chris Willock, it can be Amari Kellerman, it can be Joel Colwell, who scored the goal at the weekend. So, yeah, they're ridiculous, and they were fantastic again last night. Absolutely scintillating. Willock and Kellerman looking absolutely fresh as anything.
One thing I'll say on Barnsley, and I do it every week, where I bring Fleetwood into it, because I can compare it. And I said something about the expectation of the football club I think is ridiculous. The expectation on Fleetwood at this moment is similar to Barnsley. Because of what they were in the past, now Fleetwood had a big budget and were in a division higher and double the budget they had. They had better players and they had a bit more disposable income and they had a bit of an ambition to go somewhere. And all of a sudden they were throwing stuff at it. Now they're not in that position to maybe do so, Barnsley. They don't really have the players. They have 4 or 5 really top players. In my opinion, Phillips is a good midfielder. Connell's an outstanding midfielder on his day. Keeler-Dunn's one of the best attackers, if not the best in the division over the last 12 months or so. Cleary's been outstanding. He's a great prospect. My issue is with Barnsley is they expect a certain amount because they've always competed at this level. They've always been a championship side / top 6, top 10 League One side, similar to Blackpool, where Blackpool expected because they've had a year in the Premier League and they've been decent in the Championship, but they expect that they are a top 6 minimum at League One level, but you've got to fight for it. And ultimately, the players on the pitch at both Blackpool and Barnsley at this moment in time don't reflect that. So for me, I think Barnsley fans just need to forget about the past. And if you put that team together and you didn't say, let's be honest, like we didn't know anything about football. Well, we knew everything about football.
No, we don't anyway.
No, exactly. Well, speak for some. One thing I'll say about Barnsley, if you just gave me a team, right, and you didn't tell me who they all played for, and you said all these players have been transferred to a football club, what do you make of them? I'd probably say it's top 12 at absolute best. So when Keeler Dunsey's fit, McGoldrick, you can get your bit out of him. I'd say it's top 12 at best. Barnes fans won't like that. The squad depth isn't good enough for 46 games. Barnsley will win some games of football that you don't expect them to win because they are a good side. They've got good players. Conor Horan's a young manager. And I don't think what has helped the expectation, they started quite well, didn't they? They won away at Plymouth and they had a couple of good results at home. I think they're in the playoffs after about the first 5 to 10 games. On Cardiff, though, I've been saying for a while on this show, I felt a battering has been coming. They've been battering sides, and I said they've not really been getting what they deserve. And by that is the scoreline to show for it. And probably they played really well yesterday, but they probably played better. And they probably deserve more bigger scorelines than 4-0. Yesterday, they looked ferocious. They looked front-footed. They looked really quick. They got the ball forward in good areas. They scored 50 league goals now. That's 2 more than they scored in the whole of last year. They're good at home. They've won 12 out of 15. Look, we're talking about a little bit of a setback at the weekend because they won 8 home games and they drew with Stockport. Stockport, who were a very good side that beat good sides on a regular basis. That's 9 wins out your last 10, 28 points from 30. You're taking 36 points from your wins and your one draw that you've got. It's ridiculous how good they've been at home. It's been ridiculous how good they have been at their home stadium. So, yeah, it's a really good win. 11 clean sheets as well. No team have more. They've grown as the season's gone on. At the start of the season, they were getting wins, but you felt that you could get at them a little bit. Stockport, they got a point there, but they didn't play particularly well. Leyton Orient, not Leyton Orient, Stockport. Yeah, Leyton Orient at home. Leyton Orient had opportunity in the game. I think Reading had a lot. I think Reading had 10 shots on target at their stadium. Blackpool, I think, beat them at home. Bradford beat them at Cardiff Stadium. So there was times at Cardiff where you felt that they were good, but sometimes you could see the naivety of the team coming together. But now you're starting to see a real unity. You're starting to see that they are now being the dominant force. No one really can get at them. No one really can ask questions. But I think now you're seeing that Cardiff's possession, Cardiff's movement with the ball is actually second to none. So, yeah, fantastic victory. They deserve all the plaudits they've got. They won't get the plaudits they deserve because Cardiff are in inverted commas, a poor league this year, and it's not as good. But they're nearly at 60 points after 28 games played. It's a ridiculous standard, is that? It really, really is a ridiculous standard. And out of a possible 84 points, they've only dropped 25. So, yeah, they've been outstanding. They don't win every week vintagely like Birmingham did. It'll be hard to do that. But they often pick up a point away, win at home, and they're the example of what a good side does. And when you get relegated, you need to bounce back, and they've done just that. Moving on, we've had a complaint. No 20 minutes on Lincoln today, so 19 minutes, 59 seconds. Lincoln City 3, Bradford 0. We'll start with Bradford first. Yeah. I've said for a while about Graham Alexander's football, I'm expecting a bit of a bump to come, a bit of a buffer to come, because his style of football is a little bit stale. And I've always said it starts really well and it goes on a bit of a muddle patch between November and January. And it's come later than I might have expected. And I was thinking, is it going to come? And they play good sides, don't get me wrong, but they've been really poor of late at Bradford City. They've lost 4 of the last 5. They've only scored 7 in the last 8. More concerningly, the expected goals over the last 2 games, 0.017, 0.003 yesterday, 0.014 at the weekend away at Huddersfield, who had 10 men. My issue is in the last 8, they conceded 13 goals. They started to concede goals, 3 at Mansfield, 3 at Lincoln, a couple against Leyton Orient. And then obviously the victories at home against Wigan and Port Vale, I think, have sugarcoated a few things because they weren't great in those games, but they won them, and that's what good sides do, and that's what you've got to say at the time. They'd only been conceding pretty much a goal a game, 18 in 19 games, less than a goal a game Now they've started to concede an average 2 a game over the last 7 or 8 games, and they're not scoring the goals. So that tight-knit defensively record from Bradford has gone, and they don't really have that killer out ball. Do you think Bradford have been found out, or do you think that this is just a little bit of a 5-game bad period, as we always say?
Difficult to say, really, because if you look at it, the bad patch, they've played Cardiff, top of the league, Lincoln, who are second in the league, and Huddersfield. I think in a local game, in a local derby like that, almost anything can happen, right? So I think it's a tough 3-game segment to draw too many conclusions from. But certainly yesterday, I just think that I think Lincoln got it tactically spot on, and we can come on to that a little bit. We can come on to that a little bit later. But the way that Alexander set his team up yesterday, it was almost like he came not to lose. And that as soon as we absolutely. And as soon as that went out the window, after we went 7 minutes, we were in front on 7 minutes, right? They just panicked, and you could tell there was a little bit of fear in the players, and they were playing within themselves. Because, I mean, personally, Ben, I looked at that team when it came out at 6:30 or whatever time the teams come out, right? I genuinely didn't seem worried. There was no Sarcevic, there was no Swan, there was no. Poynton was on the bench. I didn't fear it, and I spoke to Aaron, your guy Aaron, about it, and he said, "Well, we've ripped the soul out of this team. Halliday gone, Patterson gone, Andy Cook all gone." All experienced players that have played such a huge amount of football for Bradford and know what it takes to get promoted with Bradford, and I think that's a real issue. Factor in they haven't really backed Alexander in the window. I heard a lot that they went after this Ben Ward that was at Accrington that's ended up at Reading.
Big deal for a football club, that actually.
Massive deal for Reading. Massive deal, right?
He's not missed a game. He'll get injured first game of the season. You just watch.
Obviously they're meant to be signing Ethan Wheatley. That's still not happened. But the way that they played yesterday, they left so much space in midfield. Like Max Power was too busy throwing arms at pointing the blame at everybody else rather than actually focusing on his own game and allowing Jack Moylan absolute no end of space. And their tactic was to try and get it out wide quick. And don't get me wrong, the wing backs that they had, Toure, I can't remember the other. They didn't have Neufeld. They had someone else play on the right, Harrison Ashby, right on the right hand side. They were on every single time. They were available, and they were unmarked, right, because they're in that pocket of space between Reach and Dariqua and Hackett and Street on the other side, right. So they were trying to play that pocket, but they were overhitting the passes every single time. They sailed over their heads, or they were poor. The run was poor. And you look at it, they never really got close to scoring yesterday. I mean, they had one shot on target, I think, that was Stephen Humphreys. It was saved by Wickens. I don't think it was saved well. It was just an easy save to make. So
that was it, wasn't it? Really, and Moylan had one similar himself, didn't he, for Lincoln?
Yeah, look, I think I don't think it's a case of Bradford being found out, because I think they'll beat a lot of teams. I think they'll beat many teams with that workman-like attitude. Whether the steam's run out a little bit, because if you look at it, are many of the players in that squad League One's best players in their position? You'd probably say not. And maybe it's catching up with them a little bit. And the pressure, like we said with Barnsley, the pressure at Bradford, they're a massive football club at this level. It's difficult. It's difficult to play with that sort of pressure on your shoulders. So, yeah, I think they're a decent side, but last night they just didn't show up, and it allowed Lincoln to. It didn't help them that they come up against a Lincoln team that are right bang in form.
It's all context, really, because they have lost the last 3 games. If they'd won all those 3 games and won the same amount of points, the football club would be a different place. Although they're in the same place, it's just because of the recent form and the momentum, and all of a sudden you start deep in other things, which you start doing. Don't get me wrong. I do think with Bradford, this is the Alexander's issue. He goes on these patchy runs every season, but he always seems to find a way to get out of it and dig them. It was November last year where they really would look poor. And then after the Swindon game, I think they won there at home. I think they won, it might have been 1-0, I think, like middle of December. They went on this unbelievable run after that, especially at home, where don't think they lost then until Burton beat them, which says everything you need to know. On Lincoln, obviously, great win. 55 points, 28 games, your 16th win, 11 of those have come at home. Third in terms of goals per game, fifth in terms of goals conceded per game, the fewest. Lincoln don't have possession. They are the lowest team in the league with possession. But what they do really well is utilise it. They are frantic. They get the ball forward. They're very much like Bradford were at times under Alexander at the very best when at the start of the year, especially like Cardiff away when they went and Stockport away. They never lost the ball, but utilised it really, really well. And sometimes that's all you need to do. Good 9 clean sheets now this year. XG's 9th in the division. In terms of expected goals per game, the other teams, you're ranked 8th. So you're massively overachieving, but what you are doing is winning fine margin football. Back-to-back home wins, you're winning games that you weren't winning.
Do you know what the best stat is, Ben? Lincoln have scored the first goal in 26 games in all competition this year. We have led football matches for more than double the next team in terms of who. I think we've been ahead for half the minutes that we've had in the whole season, which is ridiculous. And that is why, sorry to butt in, but that is why we are very good, because we come out the traps really quickly and get the. Freddie said it in his post match yesterday. We score the goals early. We like to come out early, get the pressure on the opposition, score quickly. I mean, we were 2-0 up away at Blackpool within 15 minutes. We were 2-0 up away at Luton within 20 minutes. And they're just 2 recent examples. And yeah, that's a massive thing for me. Starting well and not many teams. When Lincoln are at their full best, I don't think anyone in the league can handle them. Genuinely, I don't think anybody can handle them. When Lincoln stick it on a team, I mean, if we're holding Cardiff as this, they're the best team in the league, which they are, right? Cardiff couldn't live with it. Huddersfield couldn't live with it. So, look, it was the best performance of the season for me. That one.
I agree with that. Another stat for you: 1 defeat in 21 home games, I believe it is now, which is off the scale.
Wrexham at home,
and Wrexham, they got promoted last year.
Oh no, Exeter. No, it's 2. It'll be 2 because.
Oh yeah, 2, but 2 in 21 games. You know, the Wrexham one doesn't count because they're not League One anymore. It's League One football right now. There you are. The difference for me is as well, I'm a big believer in League 2 last year to get into League 1. The top 4 teams who had the best home records in the division all got promoted. The current best 2 teams in this league at this moment in time are Cardiff City and Lincoln. They're a point apart. Everyone raves about Cardiff City's home run and the run they went on. Not many going about Lincoln's, and everyone's waiting for Lincoln to slip up. Everyone's kind of like, it'll come. Well, every game they're getting closer. What's different, Jake, between this team that are 11 unbeaten and I think, was it 18 unbeaten that you went under Skabala?
23, 24.
Yeah, 23, 24. It started about this time of the year, didn't it? And less until about April. What's different about it? Is this team in a better place right now? Do you think this team is more sustainable right now? And ultimately, adding on to that, are you going into each game now just that little bit more nervous as the season goes on?
What's the difference? Experience in the dressing room. You look at that team that nearly finished in the playoffs. They're all young kids. Rowan, Arahan, Joe Taylor was only 21, I think. A lot of inexperience. Whereas now, Sonny Bradley, Tendada Ikwa, Adam Reach, you've got Colo. I know he's injured at the minute, but off the pitch, James Collins is doing a huge amount for Lincoln. And I massively think that they help, right? Conor McGrandles is a senior player. Rico Hackett now. That leadership group is dragging these lads through, and they're all performing at an exceptionally high level. I mean, all those players there that I mentioned are probably within the top 3 performing players in that position in the league this season. Maybe bar Colo, obviously, had done an ACL and maybe wasn't great beforehand. But yeah, am I feeling a little bit more nervous every week? Yes, absolutely, because something's at stake. We've not been in the Championship in the second division in 65 years. I think I said it to the moment that I met you, Ben. My dream was to watch Lincoln in the Championship for one season. I don't care if we get battered. I don't care if we get 4 points. We embarrass ourselves.
No. Selfish League One live. Don't want to talk to you.
But it's that experience that's dragging the lads through. And I mean, and last night you could really tell. I mean, all of these senior players are massively performing right now, and it's really helpful. And I think you blend that in with quite a lot of exciting young players. I mean, Fred now he's got 4. I think that's 6 goal. Is it 6? It might be even more. It might be 7 goal involvements in his last 4 games. Rico Hackett stepped up and got quite a few goal involvements. He set one up last night.
The front 4 all got a goal contribution yesterday as well.
And Jack Moylan is stepping into it, like you say. That's 3 into for him now. So yeah, it was a really big game. I know that. And what I should say is, and I have congratulated them on Twitter. But the 617 squadron, that was genuinely. I don't like to tear up at all because it's not really my thing. But that display last night and laying of the Reefs last night was exceptionally emotional between Lincoln and I know my mate. It was his granddad that passed away at the fire, and bless him, he was an absolute tip. And that display come up, really good moment. Look, I love Bradford, right? I have massive affection for them, and I always will because we're intertwined in history together. But last night they were absolutely shocking, and we were brilliant, and we took full advantage of it. And that was Lincoln City at their best. And like I say, the challenge will be for Bolton, for Stockport, who both have to come to Sincil Bank, where we have been so good this season. For me, I think that tips it all in our favour that they've got to come to us and they've got to win because they're behind us in the table right now. So, yeah, look, I'm really pleased with the direction where we're going. We're signing some really good young players. You know, Dead Yellow Railway, Ryan One's coming today from Sheffield United. He's meant to have a really, really high ceiling as well. So, yeah, look, I'm really, really excited, and things are looking good. But you know, as everyone keeps telling me, Lincoln are going to slip up, and nothing's won and lost in January. But we put ourselves in a good position to be there when the prizes are handed out. And if you're asking me now, do I think we're going to be there at the end of the season? I don't know, but I know these boys are going to fight and kill anybody who wants to get in there instead of them. So bring it on.
I know it's a big sample size with 18 games to go.
Yeah.
Come back to me in 10 games' time. I think 5 of the next 8 for Lincoln are away. Those next 10, Wigan away, Plymouth away, with 2 home games after that against Bolton, Northampton, tricky opponent. Go away to Mansfield in a local affair. Blackpool at home. I'll meet up with you for that one when I come down on the club coach. Cardiff away, tricky game. Extra away just 3 days later. That could be moved, to Sky Games around that period as well. Followed by Stockport at home, Huddersfield away. Those next 10 games, if Lincoln can stay 4 to 6 points in front after those 10 games with 8 to play, with home games against Rotherham and Doncaster to end the month, Wimbledon at home after that, away at Reading with 4 or 5 games to go, Leyton, Orient, Stevenage, Wycombe, and then Port Vale to finish. These next 10 games are where I will personally judge Lincoln City.
But this team, you back them.
You do back them. You do back them, but a lot of them away from home, a lot of them against a tricky opponent. I think if Lincoln can come out with beating the sides that aren't around, so your mid-table sides at this moment in time, and then don't lose or to try and avoid defeats as much as you can against sides around you. So you Stockport, your Bolton, your Huddersfield. If Lincoln draw all 3 of those games, for me, it's 3 games closer because you're stopping them from getting an extra 3 points on you. So
just really quickly, the thing that I think is going to play in our favour now is last couple of weeks we've not had the squad depth available. Players have gone back from their loans. Players have been injured. Ben House back on the bench yesterday, came on and scored. Tom Bayliss came back yesterday. Josh Honohan to add into the mix. Ryan One to add into the mix. Jacko to come back. Like, this team are going to get stronger, and
Yeah.
this team are going to get, and we're going to be able to change games off the bench. So, I do. You've read those games out to me. I'm absolutely bricking it, right? I am, but I have there is no other set of players that I would want to go into those games than the ones that we've got.
Brilliant. And by the way, 18 minutes on that. We did talk about Bradford for half of it, to be fair. So it wasn't linking all the way through. Big win for Doncaster Rovers. Big question for you here, Jake. On a scale of like 0 to 10, when Doncaster Rovers went 3-0 up after the 49th minute, I reckon their fans thought, we go again. If for context,
on a scale of 1 to 10, do you reckon there's only 10 fans there?
No, on a scale of 0 to 10, on how likely do you reckon it was?
Right. Oh, definitely.
But for context, if you have not watched or don't know the results, Doncaster Rovers were 3-0 up after 50 minutes or after 60 minutes the other day at home to Wigan Athletic, who were in a similar position to Leyton Orient and didn't win that game of football. They drew it 3-3. Owen Bailey scores goals. That man is going to be crowned king of, well, for me, it'll always be the keep mount. Never mind the Eco Power Stadium. Luke Molyneux with a penalty. This is a big win for Doncaster. Again, 20 shots. I think they had 28 the other day. 7 on target. Leyton Orient didn't have a shot on their goal. Now, one thing about Doncaster that I personally really like, in their last 10 games, we've mentioned about this, you're on that period of 17 games without a win. Now, sometimes runs can be misled a little bit, whereas Rotherham went 9 games unbeaten, but those last 3 games of those 9 games, they drew. So those 3 games went into this awful run of 11 games that they've just got out of where they didn't win, but they drew 3, which was your unbeaten run that's carried on into a bad run because you haven't won a game of football. Doncaster scored in 8 of the last 10. Combat it, they've conceded in 8 of the last 10. But I think in those games, I think they scored first in 8 of them in those last 10 games, and they've often scored goals in this bad period. Now, they beat Peterborough, good win. Good point away at Stevenage, I must say, as well, before that. And then they had the cup games against Chesterfield. They lost at home to Stockport, they weren't great. They were good against Cardiff. In my opinion, they found themselves unfortunate to lose that in the end because they scored 3. They scored first in that. They scored first against Plymouth, they get battered. Fine margins against Blackpool 1-0. They show what they're about against Stockport away again, but scored first in that game of football. Doncaster played Bolton then, and with 12 minutes to go, Bolton find an equaliser, and you're thinking, it's not a bad point. They beat Wimbledon. That was a big win. Late 90+9, by the way. Owen Bailey, big moments. The other day, 3-0 against Wigan. They're just not winning enough games of football in position that they are. And yesterday, you felt because it's a bit more comfortable, they got the way through it. And this is what Doncaster need to do. They get in positions that are good. They get into good areas. They create good opportunities. They're showing what they're a good side. They just don't often enough. You can see the well coached by a good manager and a good, good coach and stuff that they've got there. But you can see that it's a bit of naivety and a bit of when you look down, the chips are down. That's a big win for Doncaster because not only is it 3 points, 3 goals, a clean sheet, but it's closed the gap on their opponents to 2 points when it could have been 8 points on them yesterday, and they're now just outside the relegation zone on goal difference, picking up 8 points, and they were 1 win in 17, but now we can say unbeaten in 4, collecting 8 points. Football can change in a couple of weeks.
Genuinely mental, isn't it? Like you say, I know that there were sections of the Doncaster Rovers fans yesterday that weren't fully confident they were going to see this over the line, but a massive 3 points for Doncaster. Like you say, that man Bailey, is at now 10 goals in the league this season for midfielder, a holding midfielder. That is a sensational record. Yeah, I think they're all looking sharp now, aren't they? This Doncaster team, and they're eventually, we're starting to see Grant McCann's football really coming out into real life. I mean, Molyneux has been a top player recently. Adelican and Okoronkwo have come in and looked competent and looked really good. Harry Clifton added goals, obviously scored against Wigan. So, yeah, look, I think it's a really, really good win for them. It's a massive win against Leyton Orient, who, yes, they're a bit of a shambles on the road, but this is still a team that had Don Ballard in it, Ollie O'Neill, Dimitri Mitchell, Theo Archibald, who have all found the net maybe not Dimitri Mitchell, but Archibald certainly, and O'Neill and Ballard have found the net recently as well. So it will be massively confidence boosting that the fact that they are able to see games out now, because like I say, they would have been worried. But from Orient, like the defending for the penalty is horrific from Keelan Casey. I think it's the first Owen Bailey goal that goes across the box from Adelican. The defending from Leyton Orient is very much, it leaves a lot of room to be desired. But yeah, a huge win for Donny. Like you say, now up and around it now, aren't they? Really, just outside that, away from the bottom four, just on goal difference, and they'll be looking at Burton, they'll be looking at Wigan, they'll be looking at Orient, going, yeah, we can finish above you. Bear in mind they've got a game in hand on Orient as well, can go above Leyton Orient. They'll be looking at those teams and going, we fancy a bit of this. So yeah, huge for Grant McCann. Probably still will want another couple of additions between Monday's deadline, but this Doncaster team do have star quality in Owen Bailey, Luke Molyneux. So I'm feeling they've got a decent chance at this minute in time.
You can see far too many chances Leyton Orient on the road. 32 goals in 14 away games. That's 6 more than the next most. AFC Wimbledon on 26. Back-to-back defeats on the road after they started to feel like they built something on the home soil. Port Vale at home, followed by Stockport away. It feels like it's a good chance to bounce back, but Stockport away is a tough place to go. But fond memories there last year. Doncaster Rovers moving up that table and moving in the right direction. The Yorkshire Derby before a trip to the Pirelli, and then Wycombe. Their next 3 games are away from home. Before, again, Huddersfield and Rotherham as well. So we've got some nice Yorkshire ties to come in this division for Doncaster Rovers. Blackpool won, Stockport 2. Now, I had a good chat with Charlie Adam, who was at this game yesterday, and he was telling me how good Stockport were. They just found holes in the Blackpool team, and he thought Stockport were excellent. Norwood rang the strings, and I'm like, well, you kind of could guess that. And where Stockport are good, Norwood is normally somewhat involved. This is a good win for Stockport. Now, 14 wins, 7 draws, 7 defeats. I've been saying it for a while. They often, every 4 games, they win 2, they draw 1, and they lose 1. And they seem to just get 7 points regularly. They now feel like they're moving in the right direction, County, because they were good for a while. And over the last 12 games before this last 4 or 5 games, they felt very hit and miss. They were winning, but weren't quite playing well. And I'll talk about moments. That late goal that they put down as Anderson, but I think they ended up the dubious goal, gave it to Kyle Watson. I think in the end they changed it on the Monday, and the 90+9. Big moment in the season that defied probably Lee Grant at Huddersfield, but defied what Stockport County were. Big win then against Rotherham, where they weren't great, but they found the way. A good point away at Cardiff, and a big win at Blackpool. Just quickly, right? Who do you think has had the better weekend? You've got more points. Burton at home, Bradford at home. County about to go to Cardiff, then Blackpool, and got 4 points. Who do you reckon will be? I know it's a strange question because you won both, but who do you reckon have done the better from the outside from those 2 fixtures?
I think we've done as well as each other, really. Because that 4 points from Blackpool and Cardiff away, not many teams will say that they're going to be able to do that, right? So
yeah.
Well, Bradford got 6 points from those 2 fixtures, if memory serves me right. They won away at Cardiff, won away at Blackpool, so definitely doable. But a great win for Stockport, and it's a massive weekend for them. And obviously, the news breaking just before we came on today, Ben, that they've signed Tanta Walafe, which, if you remember how I entered the StreamYard, I was absolutely buzzing for them that they'd signed Tanta Walafe. I'm dead keen on it. Apparently, they're getting Louis Barry back on Monday as well. That just makes me feel so good.
Going for it, aren't they?
Yeah, well, you know what? If we finish 5th, by the way, it's Little Lincoln without a budget. Just saying.
Overachieved. Got a great season.
Yeah.
This is the best trip.
Absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, no, look.
We don't fear anyone in the playoffs.
Well, actually, Stockport got rid of Jaden February, and he's the only one that ever scores past us, so I don't mind that. He's gone to Charlton, so I don't particularly mind that at all.
Playoff final, me and you not in the same end.
Yeah, you can clear it off. Right, Ben. I'm watching out for you. This game though, Stockport played really well, and it just showed to me. I mean, 2 goals in 2 minutes, right? And I don't think it tells us the scoreline doesn't tell the tale of the game, because Stockport absolutely battered Blackpool to I was going to say a smithereen, but they battered them to a tangerine. It was fantastic. I mean, you look at the star quality that they've got. Just look at the phase of play before the first goal, right? Ollie Norwood stepping into midfield, like no danger. You're just thinking, surely they're not going to score from here. Ollie Norwood puts like a sensational ball, like Premier League level ball into the box, and Carl Wootton, that's the sort of thing he feeds on. And then Jack Diamond, I think the keeper maybe could do a little bit better for this one, but Jack Diamond just ripping through the heart of Blackpool and taking the chance. The only issue the worry I have about Stockport from this game was they weren't taking the chances. They had 5 or 6 chances to really put the game to bed, and they were able to do so. Alafe and Barry, if they sign, certainly both of them, certainly Alafe, if they create chances, well, he's going to put them in the back of the net. So that will sort that problem out. But I do feel like at Stockport, the goal was a great example. I think you can get in behind them. I think you can worry them. I think you can disturb them from set pieces. If you're big and physical with them, I think you can bully them off the park. So I think if teams could start to do that, please, desperately, that'd be nice. But yeah, a huge win for them away at Blackpool, Bluefield Road, not an easy place to go to. I know the plight that Blackpool are in at this minute in time. It's still, when that North Stand get going, Ben, you've experienced it yourself many a time. It's a difficult place to go and play football, and Stockport to be walking out of there, it's a really good result for them.
I know you want your strikers to be involved in your goals, but Kyle Wharton, goals and assists, 40% of their goals. That's for him and assists.
You get worried if he gets an injury. Do you worry?
Yeah, because they've got Alafe now, and they're hopefully going to get Barry. I'm not going to comment on that because Louis Barry is somebody else's player at this moment in time. He's not Stockport count.
Oh God, you sound like a manager. Someone else. Not going to comment on that player. Don't play for us yet.
Yeah. But yeah, like you say, Norwood obviously won the thing. They do play good football. I think that County overall, when I've seen them live, have been the best. But Cardiff regularly just do things that you won't believe. They play with good intention. For Blackpool, I'm actually really worried about Blackpool because I feel that they're going to get out of it because of who they are and what they've got in the building. And Blackpool have got good quality in their team. Don't get me wrong, but ultimately they don't have enough of it now. You mentioned goal scorers, and you mentioned, you take the goals out. Fletcher's been involved in nearly 50% of Blackpool's goals, and that's the way. I think he's scored in 16 games this year. Bloxham is here or there, and he's not been the same player. Josh Bowler, it almost feels like with Josh Bowler, he's all right. It makes me feel Gareth Bale when he went back to Tottenham. He was so good there previously. He's gone back. His best time was at Blackpool. Unlike Bale, who was at Madrid in the end, but it was so
same sort of thing, isn't
it? They both begin with B, and they both gone back to a former club. So they're your similarities. And Blackpool and Tottenham, no, I won't say it. Are not doing very well.
Blackpool and Tottenham are both teams that Ben support. Come on,
I forgot about that similarity as well. Honeyman works hard, but again, I just don't think they've just got enough in them, and they'll stay up. I believe that, but is their home form that is going to keep them up? If anything, because on the road, I don't trust them enough. The home games: Plymouth, Mansfield. They've got away ties at Bolton, Lincoln, Huddersfield, Luton in the next 6. That's tough. Wigan at home's a big game at this moment in time, followed by Wimbledon away. I can't get over. I'm talking about Blackpool. They are only 2 points adrift at this, playing a game more, by the way. It has improved them, but this season, I think the recruitment at the football club, I think it's David Downs who does it. He's not been great because they can't be out by injuries, but I feel like they're way too short. They've let players go from the football club, but they've not often bulked the squad out enough, in my eyes. And if I was a Blackpool fan, which I was 10 years ago, it feels, if you know, you know, I'd be concerned at this moment because I just think that it doesn't take much to turn at Blackpool. It's great when it's going well, but when it turns, you can see the negativity there as well. And they weren't great against Northampton on Saturday. You know what I mean? They won, but Northampton were poor, very, very poor. Bolton 2, Burton 1. They've done it again. 4 home games now, Jake, this season, where Bolton have won the game in stoppage time. Cardiff, Burton, they did Huddersfield away from home. Rotherham was another one. Who was
They
the other
got
one?
a point against us in stoppage
Point against
time.
you. There was another one, though, at home that they won the game of football late on. And they just always seem to. 11 of their goals this year have come after the 81st minute. That just adds on 11 points, what we've just mentioned. And that's the difference between finishing where Bolton are now in 4th to being 10th. Bolton are playing at a level that you'd expect Bolton Wanderers to be. Let's be honest about it. But they're finding a way to get winning games of football. I don't think it's sustainable. I think if we're talking about Lincoln, that means sustainable. Bolton, you can't keep winning every week in the last minute. At the end of the day, yep. I want to see a little bit more from them. But ultimately, they got 3 points yesterday. You must credit them. For Burton, we'll come back to. But one thing I'll say, there'll be a lot of people saying they're proud of the performance. He dug in, they got a goal, they could have got a point. I'd be disappointed, if I'm honest with you, because ultimately your hard work's great and you've grafted and your Bolton's are, not necessarily, but you could have got a point. And if you get a point, you can fair play, great point. But you've done all that hard work, you might as well go and get hammered 5-0 for all I care. I don't really like that argument. I'm like, when you're in a relegation battle, it's like, well, you've done all that hard work. How many times have Burton been in the situation where they've worked so hard, a really big point away from them? That's a massive point, don't get me wrong. A Brucey bonus point, you would say. But don't come away with anything. I'd be disappointed.
Can I just say, Sunday night, in the comments, Bolton fans give me all sorts of stick for scraping past Burton Albion, right? We did it a lot more comfortably than you did, folks. By the way, we're just saying. But when Bolton do it, it's grinding results. It's fantastic. But Lincoln do it. Oh, Lincoln are rubbish. They won't finish in the top 2. What a load of falafel. Genuinely, get over yourselves, boys.
That's the best quote I've ever seen you do. It's true.
Is it not valid? Valid? Lincoln won't be anywhere. The scraping.
You know something, right? You'll beat Wigan 1-0 and it'll be like, well, Ryan Lowe's not. They wipe him out. Oh, they're not a good side. Wigan. Oh, anyone can beat Wigan.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? So, that'll go down in that'll go down well.
Fan Zone podcast. Come on, Chris Dawson.
That'll go down. Well, he's not part of it anymore.
Well, I know, but there's only right. Let's be honest about it here, right? There's only one reason you're saying this, and you go at Bolton fans regularly, and come on, are we gonna pretend?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's a good win, but I think a little bit of credit probably needs to go both ways. A little bit of respect.
Because Jake doesn't want me to show you this.
Oh wow, AI! Look at you.
It's not AI. It's real.
Yeah, it's AI. Unfortunately. Yeah. The thing with this. Don't show the one with me sat on Sam Allardyce's lap that Colin made, because that's just not appropriate, is it? Thanks.
Yeah, I love it. That's great.
Yeah, it's look, it was a good win for them, albeit they're a little bit fortunate. The thing with Bolton is, I actually spoke to McQuaid earlier, also the Fan Zone podcast, and I asked him, "Do you think this is sustainable?" So what he said was, I don't think scoring in the 90th minute to win every game is sustainable, but the amount of shots that they have before the 83rd minute, they're probably going to start scoring goals in those shots rather than leaving it right towards the end, which I thought was a really good point. I think they will start blowing teams out of the water, because the way that they play, they dominate, they suffocate teams. And I actually thought Burton did all right yesterday. I thought they had a threat on the counter-attack. They made Bolton worry a little bit. They had the pace of a Dom. The good news for Burton is that Tyree Shade, obviously, he made a return to the team. I think, I'm just going to double check. I think even Alex Hartridge made a return, for half an hour. So that's positive for them. Tyree Shade being the big one. I think if some of the chances that had fell to a Dom had fallen to Tyree Shade, you may be talking about Burton being a little bit more clinical. But ultimately, as the same result, it is on Thursday, a goalkeeping mistake cost Burton Albion some points, because Brad Collins, that's now 2 games in a row where he's let one out of his lap and straight into the path of Sam Dolby, who I thought was really, really impressive. Like, really impressive, the way that he led the line for Bolton. He's looking like a proper Bolton Wanderers centre forward now. A lot of people probably, including us, Ben, probably questioned his credentials to lead the line for Bolton Wanderers in League One, the expectation that they've got, given the fact that he'd struggled to get in at Wrexham and
Big
got
moment player.
out on loan. It's a massive moment, and I think his
He's a big
Bolton
move because it's same at Huddersfield, wasn't it? He was involved there.
That's I was literally about to say. His
on.
Bolton career has changed from that goal.
Barnsley a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit physical,
strong, powerful.
Yeah, I think playing him and actually this change to the 3-back formation probably suits them rather than playing the 4-back, because Conway and Christie are probably naturally wing backs rather than full backs anyway. You get your 2 of them. If you can play 2 players closer to the striker, and they play McAtee and Dempsey, but then they bring on Gale, they bring on Sissoko and Burstow to play those roles as well. So, look,
as well.
To add Rob Apter to that, it's going to be maybe they're going to stick
where they play Rob Apter. Will they play him as a wing back? Will they play him behind the striker?
If they play him as a wing back, then he might as well not have gone there, because that's the reason why he's left Charlton, because they played him as a wing back. So, yeah, it's a good win for Bolton. Burton, they'll feel like they were in the game right until the last minute. A lovely goal from Jack Armour, which I saw some middle-aged chaps make an absolute meal out of themselves, running down to the front to celebrate with it. Yes, I am talking about you, Mr. Wilson-Turner, you, Mr. Fern, and you, Mr. Holland, and Mr. Burnham. I heard that scream, young man, by the way. It was a good moment, but that was they feel like they could have got something out of the game, and by all accounts they played really well again. But if Burton can put in the level of performance that they have over the last 6 days, Ben, to playing teams. I mean, I know they've got Cardiff, but then they've got Doncaster and Port Vale back to back. That's the opposite. Play like those two in those 2 games. They did against Lincoln and Bolton. You could be talking about Burton be getting 6 points there, you'd have thought. But they've got to keep. Sorry, Ben. They've got to keep Godwin Malife. They've got to keep Jake Beasley. They've got to try and keep Charlie Webster. If they sell 2 of those, I think it's a good night, Irene.
Good. One thing I'll say is it's a totally different game away at Bolton and playing Doncaster and playing Port Vale. It's a totally different game in my eyes, because ultimately you're going to go big spells without having the ball, and you're not going to. A good performance of Burton away at Bolton is sticking in the shape, not being broken down, having the odd shot against you, saving it, going over the bar, digging in, nicking a goal on the break, or nicking out a goal from a set piece and nicking a point. And he nearly did that. Perfect away. You can't play that against Doncaster or Port Vale. If you did that, poor performance, because it's context of who you're playing, what you are. So the performance, yes, it needs to be as good as that, but it needs to be as good as that in an attacking sense. You need to change it a little bit, change the narrative of, we need to be good defensively, but we need to offer a little bit more and have a bit more of a go than we did at Bolton. So you need a different type of performance. And Rotherham got that yesterday, 2-1 victory over Northampton. Big win, first win in 12 for Rotherham. First win since October the 8th at home. 20 points now at home for Rotherham. Although they've been poor, they've been solid enough at home. Matt Hamshaw gets his win. Pressure on the Rotherham lads recently, but that win just about keeps Rotherham alive. A good week, really. Yes, they would have wanted more from Wimbledon, but they could have lost them both and could have been in real danger. But now just a point behind the Cobblers, who are struggling. Lost 5 of the last 7, Northampton now. The other 2 ended in 0-0 draws. 1 win in 10, lost 6 of whom. 3 goals in the last 7, conceded in 13. Before that, in the first 20 games of the season, 21 goals, 21 conceded. My worry, when I said this in October, November time, my worry is I don't think the goals are coming, and I think long term they'll continue to dry up. And what will happen, they'll start to concede goals. They'll start to switch off, and instead of winning 1-0 or drawing 1-1, they'll lose it 2-1, they'll lose 2-0. And I think that's what we're seeing at this moment in time. I think Northampton are really struggling at this moment. They look threadbare, and Rotherham just about won it. Rotherham are good at beating the dross, as you should sort it.
Yeah, appreciate that, mate. I noticed how you've not attempted to say the winning goal.
Adebiyega.
Oh, look at! I've taught you well, haven't I?
What do you mean you haven't taught me anything? You've never taught me.
Yes, I did. We phonetically went through that before the show.
Adebiyega. No, it was on Saturday when it was at services.
Big moment for Harry Gray as well, scoring his first professional goal on loan from Leeds United, obviously. But this is a big win for Rotherham. As you know, with my cobbler's tinted spectacles that I love to wear every now and again.
You worried?
A little bit for him, yeah. I mean, I thought yesterday was. I know they've been beaten, right? But I do think there's positives to take for Northampton. I mean, the goal from them is nice. It's well worked through to Tom Eaves, and there's a moment that I don't think you see unless you watch the extended highlights. Northampton should have had a penalty at 1-0, and Kevin Nolan referred to it in his post-match press conference. Clear and obvious penalty. The referee waves it away, and at 1-0. You know, if you go and score that second goal and go 2-0 within the first half, you go and deflate the home atmosphere. And I mean, the attendance was only 7,200 last night at the New York, but they started to get
18K, but there was nowhere near 12K there from looking at it.
Yeah, but well, they can't see.
I would say there was less than 800 in the crowd last night than where I was at.
These things happen, don't they? But I think it plays a massive part, right? If Cobblers go 2-0 up, they're probably cruise home and get a win, but they don't get that decision. It's the rub of the look of the green that you get when you are down the bottom. You don't get that. And Rotherham took full advantage. A great cross from Powell, and to assist now. He's going to be absolutely pivotal for them between now and the end of the season if they're going to stay up. Obviously, they need to keep Sam Nomble, but a great moment for I think it's Emmanuel. It is Emmanuel Adebiyega on his home debut. Massive thumper of a header to secure 3 points, and a big 3 points because the league table was looking in a bad way for Rotherham United. That three, if they'd have lost last night, they'd be on 25 points, 5 points adrift. That looks a bit of a task to try and overhaul, but 2 points now, a little bit of positive momentum, maybe a couple of more signings between now and Monday's deadline, and Rotherham United could turn everything around. So, yeah, that was that one.
Yeah. It's a good weekend process because they've not let Wimbledon win and they didn't let Thingy win either. So overall, it's a decent one. And obviously, Wimbledon were meant to play Port Vale, weren't they? That's why it's yeah, exactly. And that's a big game for Wimbledon. Anyone that needs a win, you're looking at. My league, Fleetwood. You look at the bottom clubs at the moment, but you certainly look at Port Vale, who look that can be a dangerous game if you're relying on it. Wycombe 2, Wigan 0. You think Wycombe are starting to cruise towards the end of the season, slow down, but they win again, their 10th win of the season, 39 points, 3 wins in the last 4. You said on Sunday that they were slowing down, and they were. But now 3 of the last 4, which isn't that bad as well. And they've got good players of Wycombe. They are a very good aura. I think Wycombe are a not so good version of Lincoln in similar ways, that they've got 7 out of 10 in all areas of the pitch that might not perform every single week, as like Lincoln at this moment in time, but they've got good players at the end of the day that other football clubs you might want to try and nick. There's 4 or 5 of those I think that could go and play either a higher level or top end League One. I thought, again, another good performance from them yesterday. Different, they didn't have a lot of shots, but they just won fine margin football. Duff's football is not going to be unbelievable attacking football, but it can be. 1 defeat in the last 6, obviously 6 points off the playoffs positions now with a game in hand on Huddersfield. Wycombe, some tough games to come, don't get me wrong. Mansfield away is a tricky one. Doncaster at home, Reading away, Exeter away, Stevenage, Burton. These are games that if Wycombe could just gradually get 1.8 to 2 points a game over these next 6-7 games, they'll be in a good place. But at the moment, Wigan, where do we start? They obviously got a tough game on Saturday. I'm looking forward to watching the hate watch. I've always said for Ryan Lowe, he's always been 1 game away and he's found himself out of it. There's been moments where he's saved his job. And I think that the 3-3 the other day, I think if they'd have lost that, he probably would have gone by now. The rumours talks that he has left the football club, but can't comment on that because nothing's been happening yet. But you almost feel like he just saves his job now and again with a sloppy, horrible victory. 1-0 against Burton at home, I think, springs to memory. 2-1 away at Wimbledon, where they were so poor. 2-0 away at Burton. 1-1 away at Huddersfield. They just get this odd point. Reminds me so much of Scott Brown ball at Fleetwood. It was horrific, but he found himself away. At the moment, they can't do the basics, and it's just a calamity, isn't it?
You beat me to it. I was about to say that myself. But you know what's coming at the weekend, don't you? Just
Wigan won. Wigan will beat you, and I'll be able to say two things to you. You can take the boy out of Fleetwood, or you have to pick out the boy, and Wigan have scored. I said they would.
Yeah.
Why are we defending a 0-0 draw away from home?
Yeah, can't wait for that. Yeah, I think this game, Ben, hinges on again another really poor refereeing decision. Wycombe get a penalty in the first 2 minutes of the game, which isn't a penalty. Poor lads, I think it's Junior Katerna, the Fleetwood lad, is dragged down outside the box.
Mate.
My mate. He's dragged down outside the box by Callum Wright, and the referee, for some reason, gives a penalty. And that sets them up, right? And at 1-0 down, 2 minutes away from home, the Wigan heads go, don't they? Because the fans know there's no way that they get back into the game, and it gives Wycombe that automatic little spring and the step, and it really allowed them to cruise control to a win. Really, I didn't think Wycombe was sensational. They didn't need to be, because they were playing against a team who are devoid of ideas. This Wigan team, who I actually thought one of the best teams that I've seen Lincoln play this season, are just a shell of that side that came to Central Bank in August. On paper, good team, good squad. You know, Tickle, good player for the level. Matt Smith, Carragher, Aimson, Owen Moxon, Joe Taylor, Christian Sadie, Callum Wright. Good players for this level. Really, really good players. But the way in which they are set up, he plays wingers as wing backs, and they struggle to get up and down, and teams basically sit in the pockets behind the wing backs and in front of the outside centre backs, and they skin them, and they absolutely do them in every single week. And the thing about Rhino is he's so stubborn. He don't want to change it. He won't change away from his formation because it worked at Plymouth Argyle. It worked to an extent at Preston North End. But as soon as Preston North End have got rid of him, look at where they are on the Championship League table now, higher than where he ever took them, no doubt. So, yeah, it's a shame for Wigan, because I was speaking to Barry earlier. The seeds at the start of the season were maybe we can have a late season playoff charge. You know, we can try and stick in and around it. But this Wigan team just looks so devoid of confidence. And when you lose confidence, you just really can't. You just really can't turn it around. And it looks like a decision is going to have to be made at Wigan on Ryan Lowe. And I never like to see anybody lose their job. But if he's in the dugout, like I said, Barry said, if he's in the dugout for Saturday, all four sides of three home sides of the ground will be booing him. And but take nothing away from Wycombe, Ben. They were good, and like you say, that run of fixtures that they've got coming up now, that's where they want to press. That's where they want to start to time their run a little bit. You know, get yourselves in prime position to be around where Stevenage are, where Luton are. Enter that conversation, and then we can maybe think about finishing in the playoffs. Yeah,
absolutely agree with you there. Moving on to our next game, as I actually just get my notes up. Huddersfield 1, Luton Town 0. Back-to-back home wins for Luton. Back-to-back home wins with red cards in it. Been a wild start for Liam Manning at Huddersfield. Unbeaten in 8 games at home. Luton have lost 8 of 14 away from home. Luton, 13 points from their last 11 league games. And they had back-to-back wins in there, didn't they, against Wycombe, and was it Stevenage, the other one, I think? They had back-to-back wins against at home over that period. Starting Huddersfield, they got the job done. The goal, it's been talked about, is one of the best goals of the season. For me, it's just a tap-in. I don't see anything special. Do you? So it's easy, that, isn't it? What a finish. What a finish.
Last Sorensen did it better away at Wycombe. I'll be honest. Yeah. Well, yeah, it was, but you know, the hair
You've
pull.
got Lincolnitis, you.
Yeah, absolutely. Second in the league, mate, by the way. Yeah, it's a nonsense red card. I understand that he's trying to hurt Casey Palmer, but like, is it really a red card? Maybe it is because of the intent or whatever. But yeah, I thought Huddersfield were good. They had to put the handbrake on a little bit with the hair pull, but great strike from Ryan Ledson. Liam Manning's having a great start to life in West Yorkshire. Whether he's finally got himself down to Marston's and enjoyed a bit of fried chicken, I don't know. Probably has. Or you like that, didn't you,
Marston's. I'm
Mate,
not
I
allowed
can't
Marston's at the minute.
I can't wait to have one, mate.
I'm not allowed. It's horrible.
But like, as good as a strike it is, Ben. Right? You know when I came on here at the weekend and went, Josh Keeley is overrated as anything. Have you seen his starting position? Have you seen where he stood when Ryan?
Yeah,
it's horrific. As a goalkeeper, you never dangle out into those areas of the pitch unless you strictly have to. And what on earth he's doing, it's pathetic. That away form for Luton is awful. We thought they were getting better under Wilshere. Until they sort that away form out, they are not going to finish in the top 6. At home, Luton are a top 6 team. Away from home, they're a bottom 6 team. I think that's just reality of where they're at right now. I do still get a little bit, you know what I said on Sunday? I do still think that about Liam Manning. I think it's a real bit of a bounce in terms of the new manager coming in. It's fresh. He's not Lee Grant. If Huddersfield are doing this in March and getting over the line and consistently getting 3 points, then I'll maybe get a bit more excited about them as finishing in the playoffs. But until they show that consistency, because they've always got a shock horror result around the corner, don't they? So, yeah, I as well as Liam Manning has done, it's revolution over a course of a short pace of time is difficult to adapt to. I'm not saying that this group of players that he has can't adapt to it, but I tried to think of Sean Rowan passing the ball out from the back and I laughed quite loudly. So good luck, Liam. You're going to need it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Obviously, home win. Peterborough away is a tricky tie. Blackpool at home, Stevenage away, Doncaster away. So we'll know more about these teams at the end of February. I'll be honest with you. February is my favourite month of the season. I love all the season. August, how I look at it is from my position of doing this and talking about League One, how I get up for it. August is great because it's new and exciting. It's tough to talk about because you don't know a lot about what teams want to do, how they want to play, certain players. September, starts to become a little bit. September, October, November becomes a little bit repetitive because you can't really talk, and it's hard to get up for. December's brilliant because there's loads of games. One too many, as I always say. The start of January is a little bit, but the end of January is good. February is where I feel like you start knowing, because there's quite a lot of games in the back end of January towards February. There's like 7 or 8 games, a couple of midweeks as well. And then you start thinking, wow. And then by the start of March, you've got about 14 games left, 13, 14 games left. So you start to see it. So we'll know a lot about Huddersfield and I know a lot about a lot of other teams by the end of the year. I think if I'm going to be Frank, I don't think they're not going to get the top 2, right? The 10 points off that, and I'm thinking linking 90 points, right, to get the top 2. Jake said 88 to me yesterday. Are they going to go and get another 45 from 17 games when they just got, that's 51 points, by the way. So they can only afford to drop 6 points. That's, if you draw 3 games, you can have 3 good points in there. That's it. That's your limit, really. And also, as well, the goal difference, obviously, by winning games, the nature of it will go up. But I don't think that's out of the question. I think for Bradford now, it's a tough ask. I think literally it's a shootout between Stockport and Bolton to chase Lincoln, if I'm honest with you. You thought I was going to leave Lincoln out then, didn't you? But yeah, it's a shootout between Stockport and Lincoln. So we'll know a lot about them. For Luton, they've got to improve. I feel like with Luton, they make 1.5 steps forward and 2 steps back a little bit at this moment. That, let's be honest about it, they're not great. That they've lost 11 games out of 28. Yes, they won 11, but we're talking about losing 11 games of the season. Reading have lost less than that. Barnsley have lost less than that. Yes, they played less games. Wimbledon have only lost one more than that. So they often lose and they get eaten up a little bit. They look naive at this moment. And I thought Matt Bloomfield was a stupid sacking. I still do. But if I'm honest with you, to bring Wilshere over him is what it is at the end of the day. Big win. Barley's back. What I did find quite ironic was someone pulling a player's shirt inside the box and going, "Oh, you got away with that. That should have been a penalty." When Pot Kettle Black 5 days ago.
Yeah, the thing is, right, the Stevenage player wasn't fouled.
The thing is, right, he plays in red and white, but he's got a Stevenage badge on, not a Lincoln badge.
No,
so
you know what the difference is. You're more intelligent than that, young man.
Go and talk me through it then.
What, this game?
Big win.
Massive win for Stevenage, because I know Peterborough don't traditionally do well against Stevenage, but yeah, this is huge. They were good. They were very, very, very good, actually. Very what's the word? Very professional, I thought, from Stevenage. Bullied Peterborough, young Peterborough, who were affected by illness going into the game. They had to play young Mendonca at centre half with Peter Chioso, who's traditionally a wing back. They played with Carl Johnston at left back, so they look a bit out of sorts, that back line. And Stevenage took full advantage. There was one off the line, big goal, Sween Dog, as Farley loves to call him, headed it in. Yeah, look, a fantastic win for them, because they were desperate for it, weren't they, Stevenage? I mean, they've been so poor. I think that's their first home win since they beat Luton at the start of October, their first win in general since winning away at Stockport, which was before Christmas. So it's been a rough ride for Ravel, and I think a lot of questions would have been asked of him, certainly around the personnel and the approach, as Farley loves to talk about. But he got it right yesterday, changed into a 3-5-2, really worked, allowing Kemp to get in midfield and dictate things. Look, a much better performance from Stevenage, and 3 points that keep them on the tail of the playoffs. They'll be fancying it, won't they?
Absolutely. So Peterborough, again, you just dangle it. It's like a carrot, and you think, ultimately they don't get there as well. How are we, Cole? Good to see you. Well, if you could like the stream as well, I've got 95 of you in currently as well. So that is unbelievable numbers.
You can tell the fan zone just kicked out, can't you?
Absolutely. 95 of you. So, yeah, to be fair, Jake, there's been consistent between 70 and 100.
What, across the platforms? Across the platforms? Hey, Cole?
Platform. Across the platforms and Bolton Wanderers. What a great win. We're going back to the Premier League. I still need to watch the show that Cole went on. Actually, I need to watch it. I haven't watched it yet. Good win for, I'd say, Bolton and for Stevenage. So, yeah, if you could like, subscribe. We're now 98 away from 18,500 subscribers. We're almost there. So, if you could subscribe, that would mean the world to us. 2 draws to come. Reading 2, Exeter 2. Good point for Exeter. The unbeaten run continues. A good point on the road. I've been asking for more points on the road for Exeter. Well, they've got a couple of 2-2 draws at Huddersfield and Reading in the last month or so. It just tots the points up nicely. Sweeney puts them ahead and Keane levelled things up. Pordy O'Connor found a way with 15 to play. And then Woodhouse with a late equaliser. Good point for Exeter, who yet again, away from home, 2 shots on goal, 2 goals. Wycombe, 1 shot on target, 1 goal.
There he is.
Lincoln, 1 shot on target, 1 goal. They're effective away from home. It's Gary Caldwell's tricky Grecians. However, if you get points, it's great. When you lose games of football, it's not so great. So we will come back to that in 2 months' time when they've not won for a couple of away games. But for now, good point. 1 point closer to safety. I think another 15 in the safe.
Yeah, I should think so. By the way, we should mention this on this one. We just spoke about Sweeney scoring in this game, Sweeney scoring for Stevenage in the other game, and Ryan Sweeney scored for Mansfield. So, as we all like to say, Sweeney. Do you remember that? Remember that playing FIFA? A really good win for a good win, a good point on the road for Exeter. I think they'll feel a little bit aggrieved with an offside. I think it was for the first, was it the second goal? I think Paul O'Connor maybe straight on offside. So to get that equaliser, they'll feel like it was just. I mean, they went in front and played really well. They do like to score, and they sit in and they make it difficult, and they waste time, and they're really good at it. And no doubt the Reading fans were frustrated with it, but I think it's a much better point for Exeter, given where they want to get to. They want to get to 50 points, whereas you look at Reading, and they want to finish in the top 6, don't they? They're now 8 points away, admittedly 2 games in hand on Huddersfield, but are Huddersfield really the bar at this particular minute in time? Because, like you say, they've lost nearly as many games as they've won. So I think by the time a lot of other teams get to 29 games, I think they'll probably have more points than what Huddersfield have got now. So a good point in the road. Reading would be slightly frustrated. They would have earmarked that as 3 points. That would have put them on 39, which would have them in the top 10. So it's really tight and congested in that middle of the table, isn't it? It's it's one of them. But a great point on the road for Exeter. Like I said, Reading frustrated.
Plymouth against Mansfield. Have you seen the video clips and the pictures out of Plymouth Argyle this week of Derek Adams isn't doing anything at the football club, where he's basically in all the meetings and he's basically on the computer and he's over Tom Cleverley, basically implementing the influence that Derek Adams is having on the football club. And he's not just a director of football, is he? I think that's what he came back as, wasn't it? Director of football. Yeah, right. But you can see that he's helping Tom Cleverley, because since he's come back in, they've been Derek Adams-like, haven't they? They've been a bit more scrappy and a bit more effective, and he needed a bit of guidance. And you look at working for Cambridge at this moment in time, isn't it, with Mark Bonner and Neil Harris? That Cambridge have pretty much helped get 2 managers sacked in the last couple of weeks, haven't they? Pete Wilde and Michael Appleton also been sacked this evening. Do you not know that?
Yeah, I did know that. I just find it funny.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Big point on the road for Mansfield, who are now 6 unbeaten, 37 points. Plymouth Argyle also go to 37 points. Mansfield got 2 games in hand. It feels almost that Plymouth had to be pretty perfect, especially at home, if they want to get into the playoffs. Better point for Mansfield, would you say? But ultimately, Plymouth Argyle, that yes, they're not where they want to be, but they're not that far away from being in the top 10, which I think overall would be a good season for them. I think that they're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, they definitely are. And another goal for Ben Pebble, who seems to be lashing them in at the moment. Another good buy. I think he was from Luton, wasn't he, in the summer? So, yeah, I think it's a better point for Mansfield. Like you say, I think I spoke to Joel, who's a Mansfield fan. He is, although I think he's got, maybe they're looking at the playoffs, whether that's realistic or so. I think he's more than happy with just consolidating in mid-table, having a much more consistent season, whereas last year they were very like this, weren't they? Very up and then very down towards the back end of it. So to be more consistent, they need a Jamie McDonnell replacement in midfield. And that'll probably be then done for the window. But they've got a chance. They've got goal scorers, goals in the back in Sweeney as well. Plymouth, like you say, if they do want to be in the top 6, they're going to have to be flawless. They're going to have to go out and drop hardly any points. You're probably talking that Plymouth Argyle maybe need 40 points from 18 games, which is doable, but it's very tough. They're going to have to win most of those. So, yeah, I think it's to be a struggle, but definitely green shoots for the Green Army going into 26-27.
Absolutely so. 11 games covered and a brilliant result for Port Vale.
It's a good job Port Vale was off, wasn't it? Because this would be a 2-hour show if it wasn't.
No, we're only on 1 hour 24.
Yeah, for now.
We've done well. We've only got predictions.
We have got predictions. We're not doing a table tonight. We're doing that on Sunday.
Yeah. An hour and a half. Perfect timing.
Do you want to know how you got on? Ben, I can let you know there is a new leader in the prediction.
Oh, I caught you up, have I? Tell you, nothing's won in January.
Yeah, so you are on 191. I'm on 189 at this minute in time. You got 9 this week. I got just the 5. Do you know which score you got right, Ben?
Oh, let me go through it with me.
You got one score correct.
Let me have a look at it. Hang on a minute. League One. I mean, I've just covered all the games. Like, I reckon I got Wycombe.
That's exactly what you got right.
Yeah, because that's such a 2-0 game.
It is. So, like I say, you go into a 2-point lead going into game week 37. So,
37 game weeks we've had already.
yeah, because like if there's a Tuesday night on its own, I've counted that as a game week. So,
Right.
Right, Ben, starting for you. Big game for the Bantams. Bradford City at home to Doncaster Rovers. A little bit of a bogey team for Bradford.
2-1 Bradford.
You see, Doncaster have got their number a little bit, and I think they go and score. I think they win 1-0. Bradford 1, Doncaster Rovers 0. I think that runs out this year. AFC Wimbledon versus Bolton Wanderers. Now this is big for Bolton. I'm going to go AFC Wimbledon 0, Bolton Wanderers 2.
Oh, 1-0 Bolton I'll have.
Ben, coming to you then. Northampton Town at home to Reading.
That's a big game, that.
It's a big game.
Northampton 2, Reading 1.
I'm gonna go Cobb. I want them to win. I just want them to have a bit of joy. I'm gonna go Northampton. I'm gonna go Northampton 1, Reading 2. I just think it goes the other way. Right, Wigan versus Lincoln. I'm first. Now, I said I'd probably take a point, right? But Wigan are in free for all at this minute in time. I'm going to go Lincoln City, Wigan Athletic 0, Lincoln City 1.
Wigan 1, Lincoln 2.
Fantastic.
What a guy. Thank you very much, matey.
Ben, Stockport County, versus Plymouth Argyle, which I think earlier in the season looked like a massive gimme on paper for Stockport, but Plymouth Argyle have been pretty good away from home as of late. Stockport not been great at home either, just to add.
Stockport 2, Plymouth 1.
What can you just stop predicting the other teams to win, please?
What do you mean?
I need Stockport and Bolton to drop points. So I'm manifesting it. I don't care if I lose the predictions. I'll do karaoke. I've got a great singing voice.
I forgot about that.
I'm going Stockport County 1, Plymouth Argyle 1. I think there's some drop points in Stockport. Peterborough United versus Huddersfield. Speaking of drop points for a top 6 team, I'm going Peterborough United 2, Huddersfield Town 1.
Peterborough 1, Huddersfield 2.
Brilliant. You're predicting all of the top teams to win. Fantastic. Mansfield versus Wycombe, Ben, at Field Mill.
Mansfield 2, Wycombe 1.
Yeah. Stags 1, Wycombe 1. Luton versus Blackpool at home. I'm going to back Luton. I'm going to go Luton Town 2, Blackpool 0.
Luton 3, Blackpool 0.
Are you feeling all right there, Ben? You'll be disappointed with that, won't you?
Gutted, mate. Gutted.
Right. Leyton Orient versus Port Vale. Wait a minute. Ooh. I'm not confident in that Parmex, unfortunately. I can't go 4-1 Port Vale. Orient 2, Port Vale 0.
Orient 3, Port Vale 1.
Ben, Rotherham, Exeter. Don't know what's going on. Exeter City against Rotherham United.
Exeter 0, Rotherham 1. Someone in form, someone that's just got to have a bad run. I like buses.
Exeter 2, Rotherham 0. Off the bus they go. Burton Albion against Cardiff City. Wow. No, don't say a word. Don't say a word. Burton Albion 0, Cardiff City 3.
Exactly what I wanted. Burton 1, Cardiff 3.
And coming to you, Ben, finally for
Imagine
Barnsley.
Burton win. They've done the double.
Can you imagine if we're then 1 point behind Cardiff?
Imagine you win the league.
By the way, getting out of the National
I'm going to
League.
say, right, I will just warn you. If Lincoln get promoted, there will be no League One live that weekend because I'll let Jake enjoy his celebrations.
Well, you'll be out celebrating with me.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, we'll be like this. We'll have to go. We'll be in the pub and we'll do it from pub. Rotherham beat Luton.
Ben.
Don't care.
Barnsley versus Stevenage.
Barnsley 1, Stevenage 1. What happens to League One Live? Jake will not be on it. Charlie, I might have to give it Charlie Keegan till the end of the season.
I'm going to go Barnsley 2, Stevenage 1. I have to answer a question. There's a question.
To be fair, I'm a Fleetwood fan. Hang on a minute. I like the way that everyone goes, what's happened to League One Live in Lincoln? Well, I'm not being funny. My team does exist. I support a League One side, believe it or not.
I've got to answer a question from Fortmaster. Apparently, he's asked me if I think Lincoln will finish second. Because someone could clip this, couldn't they?
Just say how you really. I wonder how you actually truly feel on this. If you believe in it, believe in it. If you don't believe in it, don't believe in it.
I think we will finish second because the teams below us are too inconsistent. And we are consistent. We are very much Derby County 23-24, I think. Consistent. So, yes.
I can't wait for the nerves of you if it gets that far, having a game of being promoted and how you will feel. Oh, my Lord.
Honestly, the last time we got promoted was at home against Cheltenham. And because we drew, nobody else knew the permutations, and everyone exited the ground not knowing that we'd been promoted. So everyone left the ground not knowing because other results had gone other ways. And then all of a sudden, Alan Long on the mic goes, "Excuse me, folks, I've just done my calculations. Lincoln City have been promoted to League One." And there were thousands of people flooding back into the ground. And we all partied on the pitch. It was lovely.
That's just such a Lincoln thing.
There's a video on it on YouTube. There's a video on it.
What's it called?
Wait there. Just fill some airtime, Ben, while I get talking.
Red light. No, we're not doing that. Any questions? Get them in. If you could like, subscribe, that'll be all appreciated.
Is that it? That's your attempt at filling air, is it?
That's air.
There's a Sky did a video on it. I can't find it now.
Any questions? At least your team's doing well, Jake. I'm absolutely delighted.
Who are you playing on Saturday again? Notts County, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Should we do a prediction? Should we do a prediction for Fleetwood Notts County?
1-1. Look, I hope we get something out of the game. I love Laws, and I like him as a guy. I think he's a good coach, and that's how we're doing these last 20 games of the season. It's nothing on Laws. I'm just gutted that we've sacked him as another manager, but it just is what it is, isn't it?
Statement win for the Cods incoming. Fleetwood Town 3, Notts County 1.
I'm really excited for Saturday, actually. Really excited. Can't wait. It's great.
So, by the way, just to let you know, I was planning on it being a surprise for you because what I was planning was for our friend Charlie Keegan and Ben to be sat in KFC and we were going to wander down going KFC, and they were going to be there, and it was all going to be good. But somebody ruined the surprise by going, "Oh, Sue, I'm your favourite. I'm coming to Wigan away. Can't wait. Woo, woo, make me brownies, please." And Rice
I've not
Krispies
been
treats.
eating brownies lately.
I would have given you some of mine, but now you're getting all of my brownies. So
That's true.
make it make sense. Do you know what
Jake,
I mean?
I'm doing your fitness plan a little helping hands. So yeah. Right. Good show, Jake.
Thanks, mate. It was fun. It was good. It was good. We nearly got to the 40 minutes talking about Lincoln, like David predicted, didn't we?
Absolutely. Just the 18 minutes, David, of which 7 minutes were Bradford. But as well, he'll probably.
There's no KFCs. The chickens are gone. Oh, that's very good. I
don't get it.
Hey?
I don't get it.
Well, there's no KFC because the chickens are gone. Bradford are the chickens.
Yeah.
Gone.
Funny.
I tell you what, mate, as a League Two fan, I wouldn't expect you to get it. Do you know what I mean? You look like a teacher.
Jake.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah. Don't let me ring home. Right? You've been progressing nicely this year, right? Then I'll ground you for playoff final. Thanks for watching all. Please like, please subscribe. Big show ahead. I'll be back at the weekend as we review another weekend in League One. Thanks all. Thank you, Jake.
Thanks, mate.